And a very good Saturday afternoon to everybody. How's it going? This is the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders, and you're listening to the RCWR Show Weekend Report, coming at you live right now on October 6th, 2012. Do hope everybody's having a great jump start to that weekend, as it is getting colder by the week and the day, I'm telling you. Definitely chilly over here on the East Coast side. We are seeing everybody starting to bundle up now, but we still got those crazy people that love just running down the street wearing nothing but T-shirt and their jogging shorts. I just cannot do that. I'm sorry. As much as I love the cold, I'm a winter baby over here. I'm not that daggone in love with the cold weather like that. What's up, everybody? I do hope y'all are having a great, well-relaxed weekend. I know a lot of you are done with school for just a little bit. I know some of you have probably a very hectic work schedule. Hopefully you're able to kick back, relax, catch up on some much-needed rest. Thank you for checking out today's episode. We have the chat room. It's loaded right now. Feel free to hop on in there over on Blog Talk Radio. We also have the Twitter. You know you can interact with us during the course of today's show. Hit us up on Twitter. We're at Infinity1Prod. While you're at it, hit us up on Facebook at Infinity1 Productions. Definitely really cool. And, you know, you can also check us out at our website at Infinity1Productions.com. We added a nice couple of new features to the website in the wee hours of the night. Nice little revamp that's going on over there. Definitely think you guys will appreciate it. So we got a jam-packed episode that we are going to be doing today. If you happen to pay attention to the episode description, you know you're going to be in for a very good treat on today's episode. And we are actually going to be going out on a very high note, because if you've been listening to the weekend report of the RCWR show, you know that we do about a solid month of weekend report episodes, and then it makes that transition into our Call That Match specials as, match prediction time is near. So you know what that means, folks. It means that the RCWR show weekend report will be replaced by our Call That Match series for the next 2 weeks. So the weekend report edition of the RCWR show will not be coming back until, I know, but it will not be coming back until October. Let me see if I'm reading this right. Actually, no, because WWE, if I'm not mistaken, WWE's Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, that's on the 28th, so we have TNA Bound for Glory. That's going to be coming up on October 14th. Oh, so actually it's not even that bad, actually. So we will actually be back with the weekend report of the RCWR show on October 20th. That's not too bad. I know usually it takes about 2 weeks there. Not bad at all. So next coming Saturday, it'll be replaced by our Call That Match series. You'll still be able to listen to the RCWR show at its usual time on Saturdays here. It's just going to be our match prediction special. If you haven't checked that out, I definitely highly encourage you to check that out. It's pretty awesome. You definitely won't be disappointed. You know how we do it over here on our weekend report. We get you guys caught up with the week in review from WWE Raw, Smackdown, TNA, Impact Wrestling. Also get you caught up on the very latest in wrestling-related news, entertainment news, so much more. Definitely going to be a jam-packed episode. So much content that we are just going to jump right into it. So without any further ado, let's go on ahead and let's do it. Let's open it up right now by talking about one of the main key highlights that had came from this past Monday night's WWE Raw, folks, as it was good old JR, Jim Ross, Appreciation Night in his home city of Oklahoma. That's right, Oklahoma City. What a great place to be. Definitely was the night. If you were a Jim Ross fan, you're saying to yourself, it is about damn time that Jim Ross gets his proper respect. But you have been a long-time WWE fan and you have followed the career of Jim Ross, you know for certain that there is always something just lurking around the corner to ruin a good moment for a Jim Ross segment, and that streak would continue, folks, as we had saw the WWE Champion CM Punk crash the scene as Jim Ross was being acknowledged and celebrated for having a historical career as the WWE commentator, as he has just, over the course of over 3 decades, called some of the best matches in WWE wrestling. He's called some of the best matches in WrestleMania history. We saw the WWE Champion CM Punk alongside with Paul Heyman come to the ring, and CM Punk, he thought for sure he could get that validation that he has been seeking within recent weeks, that RESPECT, that respect, as made famous by Miss Aretha Frank. Surely CM Punk thought he was not going to go wrong getting Jim Ross go in his favor in letting the WWE Universe know that he truly is the best in the world. Well, Jim Ross, he would not give CM Punk that validation that he was seeking. He would not give CM Punk that official title. As Jim Ross say to CM Punk, I just can't say that. That is something that has to earned, not just given to you because you want it, because you demand it. And he would also talk about greats such as Undertaker, Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, Triple H, even Chris Jericho, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Mention all these great wrestlers that have put in their respected times in the company, and they eventually, in due time, had won fans over and was able to get that claim that CM Punk is seeking. And Jim Ross, man to man, would offer the WWE Champion friendly advice and say to him, if you want that respect that you feel is long overdue, then do the right thing. Why not take on John Cena at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view? Put that WWE Championship on the line, defend it, beat John Cena. By God, if you do that, CM Punk, you'll definitely have earned my respect. I'll look you in the eyes, I'll shake your hand, and I will give you that best in the world title. Just not good enough for the WWE Champion, as he was looking to cause an altercation with Jim Ross. With Mr. Ross, he was not having it, as the WWE Hall of Fame announcer tried to return to commentating. CM Punk not letting up, being very relentless, being a bully to Jim Ross, trying to have it his way, and would try to send Jim Ross away for the night from commentating, when all of a sudden, Mr. Feed Me More himself, Ryback, came crashing into the scene, and what a very, very solid moment it got right here, folks. The man that has been talked about within the past 2 weeks, as he had came to the aid of WWE Hardcore legend Mick Foley. Now we see him coming to the aid of WWE Hall of Famer Jim Ross, as no words were spoken from Ryback, who entered the ring, looked CM Punk in the eyes for the second week in a row here, folks. No words being exchanged. CM Punk this time around, as opposed to what happened last when Punk just stared eye to eye with him, this time saw the WWE Champion take his championship belt, leave the ring, almost intimidated by Ryback. This was definitely a moment right here. If you were watching it on Raw, you're saying to yourself, this is a very intriguing development that is going on here between Ryback and CM Punk. And you can't help but look at the way WWE has been doing a very, what I think, solid job of elevating Ryback. Now, remember, folks, there was that period there where for probably about 2 months, it seemed, we had saw Ryback take on, as I like to call, created wrestlers from a WWE video game week after week after week before he finally started moving up the ranks and actually taking on actual WWE wrestlers. And though the matches have all been squashed matches and he's been winning in just record fashion, he has still been generating that buzz. He has still somehow been able to manage to win all of the minds and attention of WWE fans. Yes, we know we have those annoying Goldberg chants that are out there. We cannot help but make those comparisons, no doubt about it. And it's not about him being bald. It's not about him having that Goldberg-style physique. It's just about the mannerism. It's just about the way he comes out there and he gets the job done. It's the way he moves in the ring. Now, we all know for certainty that if Goldberg and Ryback were to have an actual match, I honestly believe Goldberg, having more in-ring experience than Ryback, would be able to get a win over him. But that's pretty much where the comparisons end right here as far as Ryback, Goldberg. Ryback's just been on a phenomenal roll right now. Of course, I still have my reservations here about a possible program between CM Punk and Ryback, but I must admit, after watching Raw this past Monday night, I definitely couldn't help but look at this particular segment here, and I'm saying to myself, okay, I am very intrigued what could possibly happen if these two are to collide. And you're just saying to yourself, okay, what's going on with John Cena? Is he definitely going to be able to do this match or not? Of course, John Cena, he is currently resting up right now as he had just had surgery on his arm to remove some chip bone spurs. And if you saw the picture that's been floating around, I know we had tried to put it up on our Facebook page. I believe it is on there. His right arm is just extremely swollen up. It's red right now. I mean, I hope he would be ready by the time Hell in a Cell rolls around. Personally, I still feel that it would just be much too soon to have John Cena have a return match. He needs to be off TV a little bit longer. I know that's something WWE is strongly considering, but the way their mentality is right now, they're considering this to happen after the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which I think could be a very bad move right here. I strongly feel that they need to play this right, and if they are going to involve John Cena in this Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, he really cannot take that many bumps. If anything, he needs to just land as much as possible on the left side of his body. Try to avoid having that arm get injured to the point where he's going to be out for a much longer period of time, because that would just be really insane. And really, WWE, they just couldn't afford to lose him for that long length of a time. But definitely, you're looking at that particular segment that had happened, and you're just thinking about what all we have seen from Ryback within recent weeks. And yes, the man, he has had some very sloppy matches. Let's not be mistaken about it, especially if you had saw that match that he had against Tensai on Raw, as that was a rematch from their first encounter on Smackdown last Friday. You're saying to yourself after you saw those botched moves, okay, what's going on here? Fans at this point, I must say I'm really amazed at the majority of the fans that can overlook the little bit of sloppiness from his in-ring work at times and just root him on. I'm just kicking back. I'm just going to see how this plays out. I definitely love the way they have these two guys just intertwined. For those fans that have always been complaining about wanting new rivalries, about wanting to see new talent. You know, you're getting it. It really couldn't come at a better time right now. But to say the least, we had this 3-hour Raw, and it was one of those type of Raws, although it felt somewhat solid, you're still reminded of how it's basically 3 hours. And really, when you wrap up Raw in a nutshell, that JR Appreciation Night, that was pretty much the meat and potatoes of that whole 3 hours. Definitely a Raw where, unfortunately, that episode had got the worst ratings, get this, folks, in 5 years. Can you believe that? That's right, in 5 years, this past week's WWE Raw received its worst ratings. As, get this, it had scored an overall rating of 2.5. That's right, 2.5, folks. And you're saying to yourself, okay, that definitely is not a good number, as the episode had a overall viewership of 3 point and some change million viewers. So you're looking at this and you're comparing it to what all Raw has been able to do in previous weeks. And in case you might have missed it there, we did actually cover WWE ratings for September. You couldn't help but notice that trend for the month of September going into the first week of October, as Raw had just slowly each week declined more and more and more. So you're seeing this right now, and you definitely can't help but say to yourself, what exactly is going on with Raw? What exactly is part of the problem that they are having right here? Well, let's take a very special in-depth look right here with regards to this. And I think this is now a perfect time. It's a great segue into what we definitely are going to be talking about in great depth today, which is what can WWE do to make Raw be a better program? What can they do to have overall better programs? Now, some will be quick to point out and say, well, 3 hours, that's their problem right there. They need to go back to 2 hours. I'm a little bit on the fence about that, because on the one hand, if done right, that 3 hours can be worthwhile. If handled properly, it could be a very exciting 3 hours to watch. They have the right tools, they have the right people, they just need to have better execution. Let me offer this. One of the main problems that I see that has been happening with WWE is that they are just all over the place right now. Now, just think about this for a second, folks. We have WWE programming that now airs 7 days a week. You might as well make it official. 7 days a week. Break it down here. We got WWE Raw on Monday night. We have the NXT/FCW on Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we have the newly launched show, the Main Event, on the Ion channel. Thursday nights, we have WWE Superstars. Friday nights, we have Friday Night Smackdown. Saturday, we have the Saturday Morning Slam. Sundays, you know, that's pretty much pay-per-view nights. So 7 days a week, we have WWE programming. You combine that with all the internet shows that they have on their YouTube channel, Are You Serious?, Santino's Exchange, all that. Just think about all of those little shows that they got on their channel. You combine all that and you just have yourself one big ball of just WWE pretty much 24/7. So you're looking at this and you're saying to I can't help but say to myself, are we getting too much WWE? And I know some people, they felt as though, it's quite enough. I'm fine with it. More wrestling, the better. Look, I have known friends that have been into wrestling for 20, 30-plus years, and even they will sit up and tell you that right now there is just too much wrestling that is being put out there, in particular by WWE. Remember how there used to be a time here, folks, when all you pretty much had was Monday Night Raw, and you had Smackdown, and every once in a blue moon, you had a pay-per-view. That was pretty much it. You had that nice little stretch. You had that nice little hype. You had that nice little build-up going until, next week's show. Just think about that for a second. Just think back if you were watching WWE in the Attitude Era days, or back when it was just still being called the WWF. Just think back to how it was to be able to watch Monday Night Raw, and you saw a really solid episode, and you're saying to yourself, oh, man, I can't wait until next Monday night. It's going to be off the chain. You had to wait those long, excruciating, for some of you, 7 days to see another installment of Raw, but it was worth the wait because you always kept getting another solid episode. Now, just think about that as far as when Smackdown came to fruition. You still had that same vibe. You were like, oh, man, this is great. Now I get Smackdown. So now I got Monday and I got Thursday. Awesome. Then even when they moved it to Friday, you're saying to yourself, okay, it's still good. I got Monday and I got Friday to jumpstart my weekend. Oh, this is awesome. Then they just started adding in those other shows one by one. And now look at what we have now. In all my years of watching wrestling, I never in my wildest dreams thought I would see the day where I would see a current WWE champion pop up on WWE Raw, pop up on Smackdown, pop up on Saturday Morning Slam, pop up on WWE Main Event. I never thought I would see that, all in the span of like a matter of weeks here, folks. I never thought I would see that. Now, let's just think about that for a second. Let's compare that to a run from Triple H. Not even Triple H was running around like that during his illustrious times of being a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Not even he was going around like that. His reigns might have lasted a good minute, but he didn't pop up on all those shows like that. So look at what's going on right here. We got the WWE Champion, CM Punk, just running around all over here. Good case in point. Look at the series premiere of the Main Event. Then we saw him on Friday Night SmackDown. I mean, we're just thinking to ourselves, we just saw him on Raw. Not to mention, we got to think about the live event shows that he's probably doing as well. My main concern right now from a business standpoint and from a morale standpoint for the wrestlers, I'm saying to myself, you know what? We have to keep their morale as upbeat as possible. We have to make sure that they feel fresh, that they're very upbeat, that they want to come out, they want to have these matches. It's definitely fun for them because when they're having a good time, it shows in the ring and it radiates off to the fans. So you can't help but make sure that it comes off that way. And we've already been hearing ever since Raw had expanded 3 hours how the wrestlers, they were a little bit disgruntled. They really were not too keen on Raw being 3 hours. Now we're hearing even more buzz of how wrestlers' talent, they really are not feeling all these new shows that they have to do. Now just think about this here, folks. See, we only know what we see. Those of us that are the hardcore viewers, we only know what we see on the TV. What you don't know is what's happening behind the scenes here. Check this out. On Tuesday nights, right, we have Smackdown that's being filmed. Okay, then they have to film Ion. Then they try to squeeze in Saturday Morning Slam. They're doing like 3-4 different things at the same time between Monday Night Raw and between when they do WWE Raw live and when they do SmackDown on Tuesdays. They're squeezing in all those shows. I'm looking at that. I'm hearing that. First thing I'm thinking to myself, if you keep using the same set of wrestlers over and over and over again on these respected shows, you're definitely increasing the opportunity for them to get seriously injured. And then if they do get seriously injured, guess what? They're on the shelf for a good minute. You're going to have to scramble. You're going to have to try to find somebody else. And personally, I just think that's bad business. You don't really have that much star power as it is. Now, look, I am all for expanding, trying to really branch out to all avenues of social media. I am all fine for trying to set up and strike a new type of deal with another cable channel or provider, and you're trying to introduce a television show, trying to get more wrestling out there. I'm kind of fine for that, but at the same time, do it in a way where everybody will win, especially as far as the wrestlers' mental state of mind and their physical being. I think that what really should have happened right here, just think about that for a second. 7 days of wrestling from WWE, okay? That's like 7-8 different shows that we're getting on TV. That should not even have happened. What should have originally happened was we should have had Raw on Monday night. Yeah, you still got your Friday night SmackDown, but if they were so pressed to have another show return to cable, then honestly, I think they should have went with the NXT / FCW show that they had. They should have went that route, or hey, you know what? They have WWE Superstars. I get that nowadays WWE Superstars, that's pretty much an online type of deal. They could have easily just taken that show and pitched it to Ion or some other network. Basically, they could have taken that route. The Saturday Morning Slam, I have seen enough episodes to give an honest assessment of it. I actually think the show is decent. I mean, I have nephews, I have little cousins, and they like that. They like that stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm definitely fine for that. It's like watching a completely different type of show. It kind of has a little bit of a throwback vibe to what I used to watch as a kid. I kind of like that. So that's fine in itself. But having all these other shows, I mean, it's going to get to that point right now, and I think these ratings are showing that just because you put all these number of shows out there, it doesn't exactly mean that the WWE faithful is going to tune in to every single episode that's put out there. I mean, for a wrestling fan that does happen to check it out, honestly, the only type of wrestling fans I know that would watch that much WWE programming, and this is not a knock to our listeners, so do not get it twisted, but the only wrestling fans that I know that could sit up and watch that much programming 7 days a week are those that maybe are physically disabled, and as a result, they have to collect disability checks at home, or maybe somebody that's unemployed and they aren't able to find work and they're just kicking back, being a couch potato, mooching off of other people, and that's pretty much how they're able to watch. That's pretty much the only type of people that I know of that could kick back and actually watch all those shows on a weekly basis. So, it is what it is, but I definitely can't help but look at what's happening right here and say to myself, okay, we're definitely kind of getting a little bit too much programming. One other thing that I need to bring up here, and once again, perfect segue into another in-depth discussion here, and that is look at what is currently happening in WWE right now, folks. Unfortunately, Triple H, gone. Brock Lesnar, gone. HBK, Shawn Michaels, gone. Edge, gone. Undertaker, gone. Chris Jericho, gone. All these things, we don't exactly have a passing of the torch type of deal going on in the WWE. And it's very unfortunate because without those veteran wrestlers to still be there and try to help elevate that younger talent and get them to that point where Vince McMahon and crew don't need to rely so heavily on reaching out to the Dwayne Johnsons and reaching out to other folks that really haven't had anything to do with wrestling on a permanent basis in a good number of months or years, you're always going to have this problem, unfortunately. And, we definitely can't help but talk about these failed WWE contract negotiations that have come within recent weeks. As if you're not aware, we had heard of WWE trying to renegotiate a deal with Chris Jericho to get him to come back. And Chris Jericho was willing to come back as early as this month. Now, the type of deal that he wanted supposedly was a 40 to 50 date type of deal. He was willing to sit up and make full cycle appearances here and there. He was also willing to sit up and help out in the developmental and help get the talent up to where it needs to be. Now, unfortunately, things kind of took a serious turn for the worse here because Jericho wanted to be in a position where he had total creative control over his outside endeavors. Of course, he has that whole Fozzy band going on, and they're getting ready to go on the tour. Just put out a solid album several weeks back, so that's been doing good on the charts as they're going on their little world tour, and Jericho's just dipping into all different other type of avenues. And we see WWE, they aren't really too keen on this as they want for Jericho to make WWE be the number one priority, and they actually want to try to have say on what type of business endeavors he embarks in outside of the business. Jericho not really being too keen on that. So what happens here? Well, unfortunately, and this just comes fresh off of Chris Jericho and Fozzy making a video for WWE as they were hyping up their single hit Sandpaper, as it's one of the official songs for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view coming October 28th. We see that WWE, they decide, okay, you know what, you're playing tough with us, let's just stop all negotiations, we're done for now. Now, to add more insult to injury, a fan had recently said to Chris Jericho on Twitter that he couldn't wait to see him at WrestleMania next year. And Chris Jericho, he would reply right back to that kid, and he would say, not going to be there, but have fun. So you're kind of looking at that, and you're kind of saying to yourself, okay, is Jericho possibly throwing a little curveball out there, or is this a case right now where we've probably seen the last of Jericho dealing with WWE for now? Let's just think about that last time he was actually done. It took about, 2 years for him to come back into the WWE? So, I mean, you just look at that example, and then you look at the example that's happening with Edge here. Rated R superstar Edge, ever since he had made his return to the Smackdown brand a couple of weeks back, WWE off and on, but it definitely intensified after he made his appearance on Smackdown a couple of weeks back. They tried to engage him in a contract negotiation and tried to get him into a Legends type of deal. Same scenario here. They wanted to have that creative control on what business endeavors he does outside of the WWE. Edge, just like Jericho, he wants to be his own man. He's loving being able to work wherever, whenever, as he pleases, go at the beat of his own drum. He's not really having it right now. Negotiations, they become a stalemate. Now, unfortunately, it's been said that, and this has been said by, very good, reliable sources here, that sources in WWE, some people, they're kind of looking at what Edge is doing here, and they're being rubbed the wrong way here is the best way that can be put. They don't really like how Edge is doing them right now because they feel that after everything they basically have done for him in his career, it's kind of like maybe he owes it to them, so to speak. And so, unfortunately, here we see another scenario right here where WWE failed negotiations with the Rated R Superstar. I would not be surprised if maybe his girlfriend, Beth Phoniex, might have played a part of this equation, as let's not forget here, we got Beth Phoniex. She's getting ready to tie up all loose ends with WWE as she's going to be rolling out before the end of the month. So you're looking at that. You're looking at WWE's failed negotiations in securing Kelly Kelly, who wanted to, she wanted to still do WWE, but she wanted to do it at the beat of her own drum. She was loving the outside projects that she was working on. Once again, failed negotiations right here. They cut ties with her. So what do we make of all this right here, folks? Well, I'm like this. You can't expect a Chris Jericho and an Edge to be able to sit up and put in that same amount of energy, that same amount of time and passion that they used to put into the WWE in their younger years, back when they were in their late 20s, their 30s. You can't really expect that. These guys, Jericho, he's definitely in his early 40s. Edge, he's in his late 30s. He's like 2 years away from 40, I think. You can't really expect these guys to sit up and be able to still make WWE be their number one priority. That's just not going to work. I mean, as we all know, we go through those cycles in life where eventually we get to that point where we got to make some critical decisions, and we need to start thinking about our livelihoods. We need to start thinking about our families, and we need to start thinking about down the road. And that's pretty much where these two guys are right now. So you can't really expect them to still try to commit 100% to the WWE when they're trying to make that transition outside of wrestling. And, it's one of those type of deals that I look at and I say to myself, you know what, from a business standpoint, okay, you know what, it sucks that these guys are no longer full-time wrestlers, that they're dipping into these other things, but you know what, they're being very successful at it. Hey, I may not like the fact that I can't utilize them as much as I used to, but if I can at least get them when it counts the most, to be able to still do some type of business with them, then you know what? It's all worth the while, totally game. And really, I think that's the mentality that Vince McMahon, WWE, that they really should have had when it came to negotiating with Jericho, Edge. My whole mentality is, you know what, give these guys whatever they want. If they want to have that type of deal where they can still be their own boss, do whatever they want to do, work on whatever projects, that's entirely them. It's them going at their own accord. Who would I be to try to stop somebody from having a successful career? Who am I to try to stop somebody from being able to seize an opportunity to make money, a lot of money at that? It's just bad business right here. It's bad business 101. That's what I've personally been able to learn as a businessman myself. So, you're kind of looking at this and you're saying to yourself, it's just silly. Now, look, let's be for real here. We all can agree, guys. Kelly, man, okay, so she wants this, she wants that. She's no Rock. She's no Chris Jericho. She's no Edge. So her wanting to have it her way, man, take that. You know what? You ain't really all that. Okay, bye. So, it's just stupid, I think, what's happening right now with some of these contract negotiations. I think that they really should have prioritized it right, and they really should have reached out and just given these guys what they wanted, because you know what? You got to think about the long haul. And the long haul right now goes back to what I had said a few minutes ago, which is you want to get that developmental talent where it needs to be so that you can stop reaching out to a Brock Lesnar, to a Dwayne The Rock Johnson, to a Undertaker, who is a very successful businessman on his own right. He's building buildings left and right. He's doing a phenomenal job, and he's able to just pop up, just like The Rock. He's able to pop up wherever he pleases. One of the things that one of our listeners has suggested, they say, with the failed negotiations between Edge and Chris Jericho, you think by chance Triple H might have played a huge part on this, as he really wasn't that much of a Edge and Chris Jericho fan. And that's a very valid point, especially when you go back and you look at the Chris Jericho DVD. If I'm not mistaken, and I would have to go back and watch it, but if I'm not mistaken, I could definitely put some money on it. I don't even recall Triple H making an appearance on that DVD to say anything about Jericho. If he did, it might have been like 3 seconds, but I swear to you, Triple H didn't even pop up on there. Now, I can't lay that claim to Edge's DVDs. I know he did 2 of them, You Think You Know Me, and then I think Decade of Destruction or Decadence. I haven't seen that one yet, so I can't really say for certain. But you just look at both of those scenarios right there and just think about what that listener had said. Very valid point. Could it be possible that maybe Triple H might have played a part in this, and maybe he might have used his own personal feelings towards these guys and had a huge impact on getting them re-signed? I mean, who knows? We don't want to speculate, but it's definitely one of those eyebrow raisers, if you will. But, definitely going forward, I can't help but offer this advice to WWE, which is, I hope that you guys strongly reconsider bringing back an Edge, bringing back a Jericho. Give them what they need. I mean, honestly, I don't really care too much for seeing these guys wrestle. We already know Edge. He's definitely done. Jericho, he's done it all. I really don't care about seeing him wrestle. Right now, if he does wrestle, it's a bonus for me. The man is still able to go out there. He's able to do what he needs to do. He's in great shape for a 40-plus-year-old guy. I got no problem with that. As long as he can still move, hey, I'm all fine for it. But I want to see guys get signed that's definitely going to be able to help out younger talent, get them where they need to be, because if you've been paying attention to Raw within recent weeks, they've definitely been scrambling a little bit, and it's definitely some uncharted territory. I mean, we pretty much got the entire company of WWE on the hands and shoulders right now of CM Punk, Sheamus, Randy Orton. Those are the guys that's being pushed right now. And those guys, unfortunately, they are only going to be able to do with so much, because when it's all said and done, we'll end it on this note, fortunately, for what these guys are worth, fortunately, they are not a Triple H. They are not Stone Cold Steve Austin. They are not Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So this is what we're going to do right now. We're going to go on ahead and we're going to take a very brief commercial break. And then when we come right back, we're going to highlight what all you have missed on TNA Impact Wrestling. We'll also get you guys caught up on the very latest in WWE Smackdown. We'll also let you know about that really cool special contest that we have coming up, where we're giving away a copy of WWE 13 Limited Edition definitely going to want to check out the details in case you don't know about this special contest, as proceeds are going to be going towards a very worthy cause. We'll also get you caught up on the very latest in entertainment news. So we're going to take that brief commercial break. We'll come right back. We'll fall into it. You're listening to the RCWR Show Weekend Report. We come right back, folks. Do hang tight.
Tired of those wrestling websites that give you redirects, spyware, weird pop-ups? How about those misleading headlines? Instead of hitting the keyboard in frustration, why not visit InfinityOneProductions.com? Infinity One is the source for wrestling-related news and so much more without all the hassle. Visit InfinityOneProductions.com. Your keyboard will thank you.
Hey guys, Lee Sanders here with the RCWR Show, and I'd like to take this time out to tell you about one or two quick apps that I think you should check out when you get a free moment. First app I'd like to recommend to you is an app from Stitcher. Now, Stitcher allows you to be able to play all our episodes of the RCWR Show and Impact Showdown on your portable devices, such as an Android phone, Kindle Fire, iPad, you name it, it'll be able to play it. So definitely highly recommend that you check that out. It's available for free in the App Store. Stitcher, newest smart way to play radio. Also, another cool app that I'd like to recommend to you all is a new app that came out not too long ago from Apple. That's right, Apple has recently come out with a free podcast app. Now, this app is really cool, folks, because after we are done doing our shows, all you have to do is just subscribe to our episodes. And you can do this by downloading this new free podcast app. All you have to do, visit the App Store on your iPhone or iPad and just search podcast. Once the app is downloaded, you can then type in the name of our shows, the RCWR Show and Impact Showdown, and you'll be able to subscribe. It's that easy. So you have two cool free apps that you can check out and take all our episodes with you on the go. So get to it already.
All right, and we're back. You're listening to the RCWR Show Weekend Report. You know, before we go any further, I definitely want to just take this time out to thank you, the listeners, for checking out this week's shows. And I definitely have a very special message for you guys. As you all know, for those of you that have been checking us out all this week, we were experiencing some technical difficulty problems as far as the sound quality. As I'm sure you guys are probably hearing at your end, there's definitely a lot of static that's been happening on our past few shows. Now, we do have an update for you guys with regards to that. I personally had reached out to Blog Talk Radio, and I had told them about the problem, and I told them how, you know, it's been affecting the shows I've been producing all this week, and they have suggested that maybe it was a problem with whoever I'm using as my internet provider. So I'm going to try to see if I can touch bases with them and maybe see if I can have a technician come out. I mean, I really don't think it's a problem at our end. I still feel it's the issue at their end, but it is what it is. So we definitely are going to, I promise you guys, we're going to have this squashed before we come back on the air this Tuesday. So if you're able to make out everything that I'm saying, you've been hanging with us so far this week, hey, mad props to you. We love you. We definitely appreciate it. Just rest assured we're definitely going to have this be squashed before we come on the air Tuesday night. So let's go on ahead now. I definitely want to tell you about this really cool WWE 13 contest that we're going to be doing, or that we have been doing for the past couple of weeks now. as we're going to be sitting up and we have a copy of WWE 13. It's a limited edition copy that you'll be able to win on our 100th episode of the RCWR show. That's going to be coming up on October 23rd at a special start time of 10 p.m. Eastern. And this game, it's definitely going to most likely be hands down the best WWE game of probably all time. It might be up there with a WWF No Mercy, with WrestleMania 2000. It definitely has the potential to be right up in those ranks. And we just really thought to ourselves over here that, you know what, we need to give back to the fans, let them know how much we appreciate them checking out the shows. And so we really thought we would have this cool little contest happen. And, you know, it's for a really worthy cause, because what we're going to be doing here is we have a little bit of a raffle that's happening, where if you go to our website at infinityOneProductions.com, you can find the Donate tab, and you can also access the Donate tab on our website over at blogtalkradio.com/the RCWR show. You scroll down, you click on the gray extras tab, and you can find the Donate button there. $1 gets you into this raffle contest that we have going on. And basically, when it comes to that 100th episode on October 23rd, we're going to reveal randomly now who that winner is for our WWE 13 prize giveaway. And you're going to get a limited edition Stone Cold Steve Austin copy. It's going to come with some really cool downloadable content. You're going to be able to play with Mike Tyson. It's going to be freaking awesome, man. You definitely are going to love it. And here's the really cool thing about this contest is that all proceeds that we collect from the donations, we are not going to be keeping. We're financially fine, folks. All the donations that we're going to be getting is actually going to be doubled by us. That's right. We all over here, me, the lovely co-producer Tammy, social guru Zed, staff that we have working on the website, we all are going to get together, and we all are actually going to take money out of our own pocket and double whatever is there in the donation pool, and we're going to give all the money collectively to the Susan G. Komen Foundation, as all this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So, you know, join the cause. If you listen to this show every single week, I don't want you sitting up and saying to yourself, oh, well, you know what, I think they'll be fine. I don't really need the game. Or, well, you know what, they should be fine with the donations. Let me tell you something, folks. Every single dollar helps. And you know what? Even if you don't play video games, if you know somebody that is into WWE, if you know somebody that is into video games, and you think that it would be a really cool grab for them, then you know what? Tell them about the contest. Have them enter. And you know what? If you don't feel comfortable donating directly to us, all you have to do is go to the Susan G. Komen Foundation website, and you can actually donate your dollar directly to them. And then all you have to do is just hit us up with a tweet, hit us up with a Facebook message or email. Let us know that you gave your dollar directly to them, and guess what? We'll show you love. We'll actually enter you in the contest that way as well. So, really cool, worthy cause. Definitely get in on it. No telling when we're going to be doing another contest like this. As, you know, when you really think about it, it's not every day that you're able to walk away and basically win a video game for basically $1, especially with the way this economy is going right now and the fact that we got video games pumping out at like $60, $70, $80 a copy. This is definitely a really good grab, so make sure that you get in on this contest. And, hey, if this contest isn't your cup of tea, then, hey, do us a huge favor. At least spread the word, and thank you for that. Also, we got to let you know about another contest
that is happening through Stitcher. That's right. As y'all know, we have our shows up on Stitcher, and they have a special little contest that is going to be going on until October 19th, as it is the first annual Stitcher Awards. And, hey, we definitely would appreciate it if you guys could show us the love, show Stitcher some love, and hop on over there and vote for the RCWR show in some of the categories that they have on there. Cool thing about this contest, you can vote once a day, every day for us. So go out there, go to Stitcher.com, find us, find the contest, vote us in there. You can vote us for Best Original Show, Best New Show, Best Sports Commentating Show. Choose those respective categories, or whatever category you think is pretty suitable for us. I don't know. You guys might have something entirely different, but hop on there, vote us. You can vote once a day. It's really cool. And they're going to tally it all up on October 19th, and they'll be selecting the winners that way. Show your love for the show and the support. Definitely let your voices be heard. Thank you. We really appreciate it. So let's go on ahead now and let's dip into TNA Impact Wrestling, where two main highlights that we had saw on Impact this past Thursday night was the debut of Bellator MMA fighter King Mo Lao, or as I love to call him, King Mojo Jojo, as he made his TNA debut, trying to hype up the James Storm and Robert Roode match that is going to be coming up at the October 14th Bound for Glory pay-per-view. We had gotten to a very in-depth look about King Mo Lao on this past Thursday night's Impact Showdown Radio. And just to follow up on that, it was definitely a moment right here where I'm looking at King Mo Lao and I'm saying to myself, I'm really having a hard time looking at this guy and really taking him seriously. I mean, for me, as well as some of you all that had shared your thoughts on King Mo Lao, we definitely can be in agreement. The way he came out, he just pretty much looked like a joke, as pretty much all he did was just push Robert Roode on his rear end, sent him off to the back, had a cold one with James Storm. It's one of those type of scenarios I'm looking at, I'm saying to myself, Robert Roode, James Storm, they really do not need a special enforcer. They really do not need a King Mo Lao involved in their program, as they have just been doing a phenomenal job selling their rivalry, as the history is already there of their bad blood. You really didn't need to add a new element to that. I can understand, and I can definitely appreciate TNA trying to inject Mo Lao into that, as they want to try to have him play off of that. I get that, hands down. But, this is a scenario right here that I'm looking at, and I just can't help but say to myself, how can I take this guy so seriously, as he's smaller than both of these guys? But on a good note, the way they had him come out, he really didn't talk. He actually didn't even say a word. And what he did was very brief. And, hey, he's somewhat off to a decent start, but I just feel that he just was not needed for this program. But, surprisingly, folks, that was not the main attraction of Impact Wrestling this Thursday. The main attraction was Hulk Hogan and the Icon Sting having a audition match, if you will, or having audition matches to try to figure out who is going to be partnering up with Sting to take on those damn aces and eights at the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. And two of the main key guys that were being looked upon was Mr. Anderson and Bully Ray. Well, the winner of that would actually be Mr. Anderson, but he would get attacked by the Aces and Eights in a backstage segment, and as a result of that, he was not able to make it official in shaking the hand of Sting and Hulk Hogan to accept the offer in teaming up with Sting to take on Aces and Eights. Instead, folks, we see Bully Ray come on out, and he implores to both wrestling icons that it should be he that should be teaming up with Sting. He wants to have Sting's back. He wants to have Hogan's back. He wants to make a stand, and he wants to take on the Aces and Eights. He implored his case. Eventually, we saw Sting. We saw Hulk Hogan. They decided that, yes, Bully Ray, he's the man. Let's let him have it. You know, you're looking at this, and you definitely are saying to yourself, this surprisingly fits Bully Ray perfectly. Now, just think about this here for a second, folks. We had saw at the TNA No Surrender pay-per-view, Bully Ray have that match with Jeff Hardy. We had saw Jeff Hardy. He had got attacked by Aces and Eights. It really looked as if he was not going to be able to make it to that match. But somehow, some way, he was able to have that match with Bully Ray. Shockingly, was able to defeat him. And now we fast forward to what we saw this past Thursday night on Impact Wrestling, and we see that Mr. Anderson, what happens here? He gets attacked by Bully Ray. He gets attacked by Aces and Eights. And we see Bully Ray, once again, somehow being able to capitalize off of this. Reminiscence of TNA No Surrender, folks. He's starting to connect the dots right here. It's definitely not looking very favorable for Bully Ray. Might Bully Ray possibly be involved in Aces and Eights? If Bully Ray is not the master leader of this group, then is it possible that he definitely is at least affiliated with Aces and Eights? We will soon know, as we are just 8 days away from the Bound for Glory pay-per-view. Should definitely be a very solid contest right here. You know, you look at Impact Wrestling and you just say to yourself, you know what, once again, we had got engulfed with unneeded Hogan, Sting segments. Now, a lot of people, they won't really frown upon Sting that much. But Hulk Hogan, on the other hand, entirely different story. At least the argument could be said for Sting. You know what? At least he will wrestle from time to time. He's done a bit more than what Hulk Hogan has done. Sting can definitely win that argument. But once again, we're getting the overkill of Hulk Hogan, Aces and Eights, and it's really starting to show those signs right now that, you know what, the fans may just starting to become a bit frustrated with what they're seeing, as they are pretty much ready to move on from this angle. It's definitely time to have a new layer be unpeeled from this story angle, as if you did not get that memo, if you did not hear, folks, TNA Impact Wrestling ratings for this past Thursday night were definitely very bad, as when you think about it, definitely it's been a bad week for wrestling with regards to WWE Raw and TNA Impact, as TNA Impact Wrestling has scored a 0.84 rating with 1.58 million viewers, down significantly from last week's episode, which has scored a 0.99 cable rating with 1.265 million viewers. So you're looking at this right here, and you're saying to yourself, wow, this has to be the lowest rating that TNA Impact has had, really, since the Viacom DirecTV dispute several weeks back. So you're looking at this, it's not good. wrestling fans have definitely let their voices be heard this week, as we just have the overkill of wrestling shows that's now being pumped out every single day. That combined with the real lack of, okay, this looks pretty cool, I definitely want to watch this looks intriguing. You know, we're starting to see the fans kind of shy away a little bit here, as they're pretty much ready for some new stuff to happen. It should definitely be very interesting to see what's going to happen for TNA come next week, as it's going to be that final Impact Wrestling before their Bound for Glory pay-per-view. They definitely need to hit a home run going into Sunday's pay-per-view. Now, look at what's happening with WWE here. Now, with the bad numbers that WWE Raw had received, WWE.com, they've reported that Vince McMahon will be making an appearance on this Monday night's Raw to have a State of Raw union address. So definitely good timing right here, considering Raw had got that poor 2.5 rating. Both brands here, both shows, respectively, they definitely need to step their game up in a big way next week. Let's now go to WWE Friday Night Smackdown, folks, as we had saw Sheamus continue to poke fun at the Big Show, mocking him for losing that World Heavyweight Championship back at TLC in December to Daniel Bryan in that record timing of 45 seconds, only for Sheamus to come in on this past year's WrestleMania and beat Daniel Bryan Danielson in just 18 seconds to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Definitely a bit of a back and forth going on right here, as we had saw Sheamus interfere in a Big Show match. That's right, we had saw Sheamus interfere in Show taking on Lord Tensai, as we see Sheamus attacks Tensai to give him the victory. Now, just prior to that, we had actually saw Big Show come out on a Sheamus versus Miz match, as it was World Heavyweight Champion Sheamus versus Intercontinental Champion Miz, as they were dubbing it the Champion versus Champion match. We saw Big Show come out, and he punched Miz to give Miz the win. So you're looking at this development right here, and you know, I definitely loved how this had played out between Sheamus and a Big Show, as opposed to what we had saw from Monday Night Raw, where we had that ridiculous and poorly executed World Heavyweight debate. Definitely was unneeded right there. We also had saw the tag team tournament continue here, as R-Truth, Kofi Kingston, they had took on the Primetime Players, Titus O'Neil and Darren Young, as the Primetime Players were able to pick up a victory here, and they moved on to the semifinals. So, as of Monday Night Raw coming up this week, we're going to be seeing either the Rhodes Scholars versus Santino Marella and Zack Ryder, or the Primetime Players versus Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio. Ryback continued his undefeated streak, as he had defeated Primo from Epico and Primo. He made Primo look really bad in this match. He was just having all types of ways with him, treating him like a rag doll. Layla had got a victory over Alicia Fox. CM Punk, the WWE Champion, had collided with the Money in the Bank winner, Dolph Ziggler, as they had a very solid match. I definitely had loved the fact that this match was only 10 minutes long, as I just really felt bad for CM Punk. It's not every day I feel bad for a WWE Champion. I was just looking at this and I'm saying to myself, my God, CM Punk is just really working it this week. This guy's just all over the place. Mad props to him. The guy, he definitely, I mean, no no joking here. I gotta be for real here. I'm definitely concerned about CM Punk. What I've been seeing from him as of late, he just looks like he really needs some rest. He looks like he really needs to recharge his batteries for a little bit. And, you know, we've heard from pretty reliable sources that, you know, he's said to be kind of coming off a little bit burned out in some of the live shows. And, you know, it's one of those type of deals where, you know, you definitely want to take that time that's needed to recharge for a little bit. Otherwise, you know, if you don't rest, you're going to mess up in the ring big time. And, you know, unfortunately, that's not good for that wrestler, and that's not good for the person that wrestler is facing. So hopefully, maybe after John Cena comes back, maybe CM Punk could somehow start squeezing in some rest time. I know he has that nice big tour bus that he rides around in, his own little private bus. Maybe he can get some rest once Cena comes back on the full-time status. We also saw Wade Barrett pick up a victory over I didn't even catch this guy's name. It must have been a Created Wrestlers. I wish you guys would stop letting these Created Wrestlers run loose in the WWE. Crazy. And in a main event match, we saw the tag team champions, Team Hell No, Kane and Daniel Bryan defeat David Otunga and Alberto Del Rio. Alberto Del Rio, I just have been loving what's been happening with him within recent weeks, as this guy has just done a very solid job this past Friday night mocking Randy Orton as he came out to the music, he came out to the pose, he even had the voice down, as shockingly Randy Orton, he did not pop off on Smackdown this week. Great thing that WWE did here, as they're trying to sell that injury that he had suffered at the hands of Del Rio, as cameras went off Friday Night Smackdown last week. Definitely was a very cool moment right here. All right, so that's going to do it for your Friday Night Smackdown recap. As this past Friday Night Smackdown, they definitely have put out a very solid show. I highly recommend you go check that out. I was very pleased. Another episode of Friday Night Smackdown that was properly executed. You really couldn't go wrong with that. You know, personally, I just wish I could have seen my boy Damian Sandow make a little cameo, or Antonio Cesaro. I definitely wanted to see him pop up one more time. All right, so let's go on ahead and let's get you guys caught up on the very latest in entertainment news. Let you guys know what all has been happening. In case you might have missed it, you know, we got some real sad news to tell you guys. You know, I wanted to save this for later, but I definitely wanted to open up pretty strong here with our entertainment news. You know, if you're a Foo Fighters fan, I got some bad news for you in case you don't know. It looks like Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl, he had revealed on the band's official Facebook page earlier this week that the band will be going on a hiatus. Now, this comes just a few days after Foo Fighters were at the Global Citizen Festival in New York, as Grohl had on-stage comments that had sparked rumors throughout the rock community that the band was breaking up. Now, Grohl had made the following comments at the festival, and it goes as follows. This is a direct quote. "We don't have any shows after this. This is where we play as many songs we can in a short period of time, because honestly, I don't know where we're going to do it again." Now, here's the official statement that Grohl had released on the Foo Fighters page on Facebook to follow up those controversial comments. Direct quotes here. "Hey everyone, Dave here. Just wanted to write and thank you all from the bottom of my heart for another incredible year. Our 18th to be exact. We truly never could have done any of this without you. Never in my wildest dreams did I think Foo Fighters would make it this far. I never thought we could make it this far. To be honest, there were times when I didn't think the band would survive. There were times when I wanted to give up, but I can't give up this band, and I never will, because it's not just a band to me. It's my life. It's my family. It's my world. Yes, I was serious. I'm not sure when the Foo Fighters are going to play again. It feels strange to say that, but it's a good thing for all of us to go away for a while. It's one of the reasons we're still here. Make sense? I never want to not be in this band. So sometimes it's good to just put it in the back in the garage for a while. But no gold watches or vacations just yet. I'll be focusing all my energy on finishing up my Sound City documentary film and the album for worldwide release in the very near future. A year in the making. It could be the biggest, most important project I've ever worked on. Get ready, it's coming. Me, Taylor, Nate, Pat, Chris, and Rami. I'm sure we'll all see you out there somewhere. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Dave. So definitely a very sad moment this week in rock as Foo Fighters going to be going on hiatus. There's no telling when these guys are probably going to be back. You know, the vibe I'm just getting, and I remember when I had first heard about this, I was reading these words, and I'm just really paying attention to the context of this, and it just sounds to me like Foo Fighters, they could be on a, I'm just giving a rough estimate here. It just kind of has a vibe that it might be a 2-year type of hiatus, maybe a little bit more. You know, I just can't help but feel that it's very unfortunate right now that this is happening, because Foo Fighters is one of those last legitimate hard rock bands that was out there. I mean, in a time and age where we have music that really is just irrelevant as hell, the music is just bubblegum pop, it makes no sense. It's an age where it's really about the looks and not so much about musical creativity, lyrics. It's just all flashy, you know. Foo Fighters was definitely one of those bands that was just in your face. They're definitely up there with a Metallica. They're up there with an AC/DC. They're up there with an Iron Maiden. They're definitely up there with all those great hard rock bands. And it's definitely unfortunate that they're going to be taking this hiatus. As, you know, I can't help but say to myself, it's probably for the best, but when they do get ready to reform and come back, they are going to be better than ever, and they're going to love what they're going to be doing that next time around. We will see them back. There's just no telling how long it's going to take. I would think 2 years tops. I don't see this happening like a Soundgarden type of deal. I don't see this being a 15-year type of deal. I see this bare minimal, definitely under 5 years. I don't want you guys to kind of feel like it's the end of the world right here. I just think they're just at that point in their lives right now. They just want to kick back, and they just want to go do their own little respected things. They'll definitely be back. But, you know, I definitely can't help but say that Dave Grohl, you know, you got to give the man his props. He lost his best friend, Kurt Cobain, from Nirvana, and it just really seemed like it was the end of the world right here. I mean, usually when you have a band like Nirvana at their greatest pivotal and you lose the centerpiece of the band, you lose the one that is just the creative genius, you're saying to yourself, okay, well, the other band members, they're probably are just going to go dip off into the oblivion. They're just going to be irrelevant. They're probably going to end up being a social worker or basketball coach somewhere in the suburbs. You know, and that really wasn't the case. At a time that was just so dark and ugly, you know, we saw bassist Chris Novoselic. He eventually had dipped into politics, and He just became a really great writer, so he had a pretty great career. After Nirvana, we see Dave Grohl, who doesn't want to stop doing music. He's able to just rise like a phoenix from the ashes of Cobain, and he is just able to create this band, Foo Fighters. A lot of people, they'll sit up and say, you know what, Foo Fighters is nothing more than a copycat of Nirvana. I beg to differ that. I definitely do not pick up the vibe of a Nirvana. I do kind of sometimes hear little hints. I do pick up little shades of Kurt whenever I pay attention to certain songs that the band performs, but I don't consider them to be a Nirvana copycat in any type of way. And, later on this evening, folks, or before the weekend is out, I'm actually going to personally write an article for the website that y'all will be able to check out. In case you're not quite familiar with the Foo Fighters catalog, I'm definitely going to recommend to you my top favorite Foo Fighters songs of all time to help commemorate them going on hiatus, give you an idea of what you could, what you should go check out. And I'll also give you a custom look into a actual album that I had made. I had remixed it myself and everything, where I had basically made my own Foo Fighters compilation album. It's definitely pretty solid. I'll give you the track listing for it and all that when I write up the article later this weekend. You definitely will like it. Be on the lookout for that. It's definitely going to be coming before the weekend is out, I promise you. Make sure you're paying attention to our Twitter, Facebook feeds. We'll definitely have all the information you need, so you'll be able to go check out that link. Also, we got some Billy Corgan news right here. Now, this news kind of comes as a little bit of a shocker here, but here's what it is. We have landscaping troubles that basically landed Billy Corgan in court. As, get this, former Grey's Anatomy actor Eric Dane is suing the Smashing Pumpkins frontman, claiming that a tree on Corgan's property nearly killed his pregnant wife when it crashed into their house during a storm last year. Now, this is according to a report by ABC News. Now, the lawsuit says that Dane's wife, which is actress Rebecca Gayheart, was home with the couple's 20-month-old daughter when all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, a tree fell. It snapped several power lines. It set off their sprinkling system, which flooded their house. Luckily, everybody was able to escape unharmed. Now, it should also be noted that the lawsuit also claimed that Billy Corgan had been warned that his trees were too shaky, too dangerous, and that the rock star denied as patiently untrue in a statement. He added, quote, "I was horrified when I learned about the falling. Thankfully, no one was injured." Now, while neither Dane nor Gayheart responded to requests for a comment, Corgan called the legal battle, quote, "a shame," because they are nice people. Man, Billy Corgan, he definitely does not come off as one of those type of people that, oh, wow, tree half fell on your house and almost killed you and your baby. That sucks. Or however he does his little voice when he's singing his song. That's life or whatever. But, I'm looking at this and, I think that everybody just needs to go on ahead and they need to just get together for maybe some rum cake. Maybe Billy Corgan could bust out an acoustic guitar and maybe he could play some nice slow songs. I don't know, man. This is just silly. It's not needed. It's just stupid to me, honestly. This really sounds like a case right here where maybe this guy is just looking for a nice, big, decent pay cut. Because, really, it's just stupid. I think, really, Billy Corgan, he just needs to go on ahead, cut the trees down, be like, look, I'll go on ahead, I'll pay for your remodeling of your home, any modifications, upgrades that you want to make to it right now, you can do it. It's going to be on my dime, no problem. That'd be a really good way to squash all this. I don't get this whole lawsuit crap. It's just stupid. Billy Corgan and whatever your name is, Eric Danes, come on, man, squash this. It's really unneeded. It's silly. Also, we got to let you guys know about this new Adele track that had accidentally leaked for the new James Bond movie, Skyfall. That's right. That's the name of the track, Skyfall. I was actually listening to this a couple of days ago, and I was like, man, this track is off the chain. Damn good. I was going to play it for you guys on today's show, but, you know, this is a James Bond movie. I don't really want to deal with any type of legal problems over here because, you know, unfortunately the track had leaked before it was supposed to have its world release premiere, and I'm not trying to get in the middle of all that, but the track is definitely very solid. It definitely has a 60s throwback to the previous Bond films that had came out with Sean Connery, the first Bond man. I was feeling this. It's not quite up there with a Chris Cornell, You Know My Name, but it definitely had me saying, wow, this girl is definitely on point right here. I mean, she made me a fan automatically. I didn't really care too much for her body of work before, but after hearing this song, I definitely said to myself, okay, she definitely has my attention. I now went back and I checked out her catalog, and you know, I definitely like what I'm hearing so far from her. But check it out when you get a chance. We actually have put up a link on our Facebook page. You definitely will like the song. It's about 4 minutes long, and it's unfortunate that they weren't able to have their world premiere officially, as some French radio station had released the track like several hours ahead of its scheduled premiere release. And you know, there you go. That's some radio shows for you. They're just trying to have that little edge, kind of make themselves be a little bit relevant. You know how it is. We also got to let you know about the Beach Boys, as Mike Love had to do damage control addressing the firing of Brian Wilson. Now, this is what really happened here, folks, as Mike Love has stressed that Brian Wilson was not fired from the band, that all this that was being put out there is just basically ugly rumors. And this is what he had to say about the matter, as he had spoke with the Los Angeles Times. He said, quote, I did not fire Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. I cannot fire Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. I am not his employer. I do not have any such authority, and even if I did, I would never fire Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys. I love Brian Wilson. We are partners. He's my cousin by birth and my brother in music. Now, Love also stressed that the Beach Boys' 50th anniversary tour was always envisioned as a limited run, and that none of the bandmates wanted to do a 50th anniversary tour that lasted 10 years ago or beyond. Basically, he said it was meant to be special. In fact, very early on, Brian was just going to join the tour for a few dates in big cities. We finally settled on 50 dates in 50 major markets, but positive reviews had came in for their recent performances, and as a result of that, that had created high demand. As a result of that, 25 more shows were added on. But it was a scenario right here where they really weren't too keen on the tour being ongoing, as Love had felt that it was impossible to do it, as other Beach Boys were already booked for other respected dates, so it kind of collided with the reunion dates. Now, Love also added, and I quote here, to avoid public confusion and at the request of Brian's representative, we had a press release sent out detailing the differences between the two Beach Boys tours and its varying lineup. I was surprised that Brian and Al said they were surprised by this announcement. So there you go right there. Now, it should be noted that even though Wilson had departed from the Beach Boys, he is still open to the idea of recording new material with his bandmates. And as we all know, Brian Wilson, he's actually recovering from lower back surgery that he had got back in September, as he was dealing with continuing, nagging, ongoing lower back problems that had stemmed from their return at the Grammys this past February. So Beach Boys news for you right there. It's not every day we talk about Beach Boys. So in case you have a uncle, grandfather, uncle that likes that type of music, hey, you know, we try to dip into a little bit of everything over here. Let's go a little bit more current, though. Axl Rose, Guns N' Roses, he shockingly had made headlines as, get this, and you want to make sure you have your DVR set for this, folks. He is going to be making his first TV appearance in 20 years on, get this, Jimmy Kimmel Live. That's right. You'll be able to catch that October 24th on the, make sure I give you this date right, folks. I don't have my glasses here today. Yeah, I gave you the date right. That's going to be Wednesday, October 24th. You'll be able to catch Axl Rose on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show. I've never been a fan of Jimmy Kimmel. I've never watched Jimmy Kimmel. I will definitely watch Jimmy Kimmel just to check this out. It should definitely be on point. You also might want to check out Axl Rose's appearance on one of my favorite metal shows of all time, Eddie Trunk. Love that guy. That metal show, as there was an hour-long Guns N' Roses special that they had did with the frontman. I believe it was sometime last year or the year before. It was a very solid show. Go check that out. That'll give you an idea of what you could possibly expect when Axl gets ready to make his appearance on this Wednesday, October 24th show. Now, I should let you guys know, if you're interested in getting tickets to go see this, tickets are available right now, but you might want to hurry up, as those tickets are probably going to be gone with the quickness. Go to JimmyKimmelLive.com. Once again, that's JimmyKimmelLive.com. If you need help spelling it, I got you. That's JimmyKimmelLive.com. JimmyKimmelLive.com. Good luck to you. Hope you can get those tickets. And we also got to let you know about some other music-related news, as Wu-Tang Clan leader RZA is working on two separate biopics that's going to be covering his late cousin and bandmate, Old Dirty Bastard. Now, this is according to a report from IndieWire. One, Dirty White Boy, is going to focus on Dirty's manager during the rapper's final 2 years. The other, with the working title Dirt, One Hand Could Change the World, will involve ODB's family. His mother is involved with Dirty White Boy, and it's said to basically be about everything about his life. And the mom, she said she really wanted to be hands-on in this and help out as best as she could. So definitely nice to see that this is going to be coming to light. Definitely Wu-Tang fan right here. I could remember just grabbing all of Wu-Tang's albums. 36 Chambers, that's got to be hands down one of the greatest rap albums of all time for sure. And let me see, I believe that's it. I think we covered all bases right here. Only other thing that kind of jumped out at me this week was the fact that we had former REM guitarist Peter Buck announced on his former band's website that he's going to be releasing his first solo album. Now, that had actually came out yesterday, as it was released on Mississippi Records. and it's on a limited edition pressing right now, as there's only said to be 2,000 vinyl copies that's out. Now, I actually just came across the album late last night. I got a hookup from my friend who hooked me up with that and a few other CDs that I'm going to review for you guys. Now, I'll have a ton more stuff. We're going to review some albums. This is definitely going to be one of them. That's going to be coming up not next Saturday, but it's going to be coming up on our October 20th episode of the RCWR Show Weekend Report. So you definitely want to check that out. As I also have a album review for Heart's new album that they have put out. So let me get you guys caught up on what all we're going to be doing for the rest of the week here. As y'all know, we definitely are going to be coming at you with an all-new episode of the Tuesday Night Wrestling Report that's going to be coming your way this Tuesday night at 11 p.m. Eastern right here on blogtalkradio.com/the RCWR Show and over at our sister website at InfinityOneProductions.com. We'll get you guys caught up on the latest fallout from WWE Raw. Also get you caught up on the very latest in wrestling-related news and more. You definitely want to check that out. We'll definitely include fan reactions as well to Monday's Raw from the prior week. Of course, we also have Impact Showdown Radio. You'll be able to catch that for that TNA Wrestling Fix. You'll be able to catch that immediately after Impact Wrestling Live, as Impact Showdown Radio airs at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern. You'll be able to catch it right here. And, of course, next Saturday, we got a jam-packed busy weekend. We're going to be getting you guys ready for the TNA Bound for Glory pay-per-view that's going to be coming our way from Phoenix, Arizona. It's definitely going to be one very solid pay-per-view. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be off the chain hot. And let me tell you guys something really cool that we're going to be doing here. Now, if you can't wait for that match prediction special, then I highly recommend that come Monday evening at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern, you make it your business to go check out our YouTube channel over at the RCWR Show, because we will actually have the Bound for Glory Call That Match special on there. If you can't wait until next Saturday to check it out, then we'll have it ready for you. Otherwise, we'll definitely see you right back here for Saturday's Call That Match special covering the pay-per-view, as it'll all lead into our Bound for Glory post-show, where we'll cover the fallout of the night's pay-per-view and get you all's reactions. Definitely going to be a very solid, jam-packed RCWR post-show. Make sure that you're able to join us. Can't stress it enough. Make sure that you're also able to join us for that 100th episode of the RCWR Show that's going to be coming up this October 23rd. We're going to have that WWE 13 prize giveaway. We're also going to have special guest hip-hop rapper Scooter. Famous Justin Reno is going to be coming by. It's going to be a three-man panel over here, as we're going to be joined by the lovely co-producer Tammy that's going to be helping us out with the show, as we're going to celebrate 100 episodes and take a look back at some great moments, and definitely we'll talk all things wrestling. It's going to be a jam-packed show. Special start time of 10 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you check that out. It's definitely going to be very solid. I think those of you that had took the time to check out the show this afternoon, I know we had a little bit of static feedback there. If you kind of hear it here, it's gotten a little bit better. We're still working on that. I really hope we can get this squashed before Tuesday. That's going to be our goal right now. We thought we had it squashed before we came on the air today, but, you know, it's not as bad as it was when we first started earlier today. So we're working on it. We'll definitely have it resolved before Tuesday night, folks. In the meantime, you know the wrestling talk, it doesn't end right here. Make sure you do yourself a favor. Do us a favor. Go hop on over to our website at InfinityOneProductions.com for all the latest in wrestling-related news, so much more. I personally have been very hands-on with the website this weekend. I've been putting some fine tweaks into it, having it be revamped a little bit. It is just really looking very nice. Go check it out. It's really awesome. Also, make sure you subscribe to us in the iTunes and Zune marketplaces, keywords, the RCWR show. Take all the episodes with you on the go so you always know the 411. All right, that's going to do it. You know where we're at on Twitter and Facebook. You don't need those plugs again. Hit us up. You know how we do it. Until we hear from you guys this Tuesday night for the RCWR show weekend. I said weekend. Blah. I'm like lacking on sleep over here. Until we hear from you guys for the Tuesday night Wrestling Report edition of the RCWR show, I'm the Black Avenger, Lee Sanders. Do hope that everybody has a fantastic weekend. We will see you guys this Tuesday night. Everybody, be safe and be kind to one another, folks. We'll see you this Tuesday night. Take care.